one of the key difficulties of life is depth. Allahumma kfini bihalalika an haramika wa aghnini bifadlika aman siwak. All divinity, make what is lawful enough for me, as opposed to what is unlawful, and spare me with your grace of the need of others. Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min al-hammi wal-huzni wal-ajzi wal-kasali wal-bukhli wal-jubni wad-dalaini wa-ghalabati rijal. Divinity, I'm taking refuge with you from the anxiety and sorrow, and the weakness and the laziness, and the miserliness, and the cowardice, and the burden of debts, and from being overpowered by men. And if a person's troubled even greater, like the whisperings and the hangs on from the things you've been exposed to in one's prayer, you seek the refuge, and you may, but don't spit on your neighbor, that's sort of thing, because preferably you're praying in rows, right? And if things have become difficult for you, Allahumma la sahla lama ja'altahu sahlan wa anta tajalul hazna idha shi'ta sahla. All divinity, there's nothing to ease except by that which you've made easy, and you make the difficulty, if you wish, easy. And Ramadan's a time to perhaps do more, but some people find it so much easier to do more in Ramadan than to do half that, or even a third as much in another time. And a person can do 2 vows of prayer to deal with committing a sin. And a person can cast out the ill spiritual influences by getting ablutions, the touching the water, the hands and the face and over the head and the feet, or perhaps there's some issue sin-related that needs to be washed out. Like particularly if people eat unlawful food, you may want to get the unlawful food out of your mouth when you come to the prayer, that sort of thing. And there's many other remembrances from the Quran, from the sayings of the Prophet. As you may notice here, there's a difference in the language use in the prophetic sayings. One, there's stuff from the Quran that is used as a basis. And when you're faced with any sort of difficulty, you try to be grateful for the goodness. One of the Kafir translations in the Quran obviously focuses more on the ingratitude sort of way, because a lot of people, they say it, that they have some sort of belief, they just won't act on it, they won't express their gratitude. I've talked to people who said that they would be Muslim, but they have some things to do first, right? But leave off the ifs. there's a lot of we don't know in life. So if this, if that, it's not the point. Qadarallahu wa ma shaa fa'al. God has decreed, and what He wills, He does. And the ifs, the becauses, and that sort of thing are usually as the devil's work. In circumstances like that, definitely. And if a person neglects, Hasbiyallahu wa ni'mal wakil. Sufficient is God for me, and I'll find a trusty. And he is this fine trusty, but there's not the word for he here. But gender neutral and all that. Now, people fear for their children. Uidukuma bekalimatallahi tammate min kulli shaytanin wa hammarin wa min kulli ainin amma. I put you in the trust to the protection of God's perfect words from all the devils, the vermin, and the evil eyes. And, the two talked about, the plural, because, so you can pray for multiple children at once, that sort of thing. Labasatahurun inshallah. Never mind, may it be a purification if God wills. So when you visit somebody who's sick or going through affliction, remind them of the fact that it can be an atoning matter. And something to be said 7 times. And if a person's not, it's not decreed that they're going to die, then, they're not going to die. If one says, Asalullah Allah Saima Rambalarshilla Saima Anyashfiyak. A maxim of God, the most supreme, the Lord of the magnificent throne, to cure you. And visiting the sick is a way towards mercy. I'm not saying that a person should violate quarantines or that sort of thing, because certainly there's Islamic things about that, but just like the last 3 verses of 59, the same sort of thing about the 70,000 angels going about you, with you through the, through the day as a result, or if at night, 70,000 angels going with you, invoking upon you throughout the night. And sometimes sick people give up on life. Usually it's not because they're sick, it's, people don't have the means or aren't as capable as they used to be. So they're like, some people give up on life, but Allahumma gfirli warhamni walhiqni birufiqil Allah. All divinity, forgive me, have mercy on me, and unite me with the highest of companions. And dipping hands in water. La ilaha illallahu inna lil maute la sakarat. And this is something that Muhammad was saying when he knew he was dying and dead. La ilaha illallahu wallahu akbaru. La ilaha illallahu wahdahu la La ilaha illallahu wahdahu la sharika lahu. La ilaha illallahu lahul mulku wa lahul hamdu. La ilaha illallahu wa la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. So you definitely notice there how I I didn't expect to say La ilaha illallah. Because the repetition, I'm used to the other one, but none has the right to be worshipped except God. God is the greatest. Nothing is worthy of worship except God alone. None has the right to be worshipped except God alone. He has no partner. Nothing has the right to be worshipped except God. To him belongs all sovereignty and praise. None has the right to be worshipped except God. There is no might and no power except with God. And one who's nearing death should be led to say, La ilaha illallah. And a person, a Jew is directed to say this, and they said this, because, and the other Jews said, that's fine, say, like the boy's father. And it may have been a young man, I'm not sure with the language use, so he may have been fully accountable. And further, Muhammad or Rasulullah, it'd be good, it's good to say, but if all they'll say is the testifying to one God, that's fine too. And a calamity, inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Allahumma ajurni fi musibati waqlufa li khairan minha. Certainly. Oh, well. I'm God's, and we belong to Him and return to Him. All divinity, give us a recompense for our afflictions and replace it for me with something better. And to close the eyes of the dying person, Allahumma gfirli fulan bismaha warfa'a darajatahu fil mahdiyina waqlufhu fi aqtabaha fil ghabrina waghfir lana walahu ya rabbal alamina wafsahlahu fi qabrihi wa nawwir lahu fiha. All divinity, forgive. And mention the person who just died and raise his rank among the rightly guided, and be a successor to whom he is left behind, and forgive us and him. Oh, Lord of all the realms, make spacious his grave and illuminate it for him.